Hi students, welcome to physics classes. Today we'll discuss basics in physics, 8th class physics. 8th class physics which are essential for 9th class. Now who are completed 8th class and who are coming to 9th class, once if you see this video, I'll cover all the basics which are required for learning 9th class physics. It will helpful to both NCERT and state syllabus. Even state board also following NCERT books, so we can cover these topics. Now in 8th class physics, force and pressure, friction, sound, light, and another 3 topics are there. Chemical effects of electric current, some natural phenomena, our universe. Okay, now here remember that I am not covering entire syllabus. I am not making a video for entire syllabus. Only I am covering the basic topics which helpful in 9th class physics. Now first we will discuss about force. Force is a push or pull. Force is a push or pull on any object. For example, if you are pushing any object, it will move away from us. If you are pulling any object, it will come towards us. Both either push or pull is known as force. When we apply force on any object, there are some effects. Those are known as effects of force. Effects of force. First one, force can change the state of the body. Force can change the state of the body. Here only I will give explanation. State means state of rest or motion. If the body is in rest, when we apply force, it will come to motion. If the body is in motion, if you apply force, it will come to rest. Next, force can change the speed of a moving body. If a body is moving with a particular speed, if you apply force in the same direction, its speed will be increases. If a body with a speed v, if you apply force in the opposite direction, its speed will be decreases. Means a force can change the speed of a moving object, moving body. Next, force can change the shape and size of a body. For example, foam or sponge is there. When we apply force, when we press it, when we apply force, what will happen? Its shape will be changed. Stress ball, it will be in a spherical shape. When we press it, its shape will be changed. Now here paper, when I am applying force, its size is changing. So when I am applying force, shape of the object or size of the object can be changes. Sometimes both can be changes. Next one, force can change the direction of moving body. Direction. For example, we will see in the football, cricket, or any sports. Now when a person kicks the football, it is going in one direction. If opponent player kicks in opposite direction, it will change its direction due to the force. When a bowler throws the ball, if the batsman hits it in any other direction, it will change its direction because of force. Now here, force can change the force, either push or pull. Force is a push or pull, and it is having some effects. When a force applied on an object, it tries to changes or changes. Here whatever I discussed not compulsory, sometimes may happen, sometimes may not happen. Changes the state of the body, rest to motion, motion to rest. If a wall is there, a wall, if I apply force it will not change, but I tries to change. This force tries to change or changes the state of the body, speed of the body, shape and size of the body, direction of the body. Next, types of forces. Types of forces. Based on the physical contact, forces are two types. One is contact force, second one is non-contact force. Contact force, non-contact force. Now, contact force. The force applied between two objects, two or more, objects with physical contact. Force applied or exerted between two bodies. Force exerted or force applied between two bodies with physical contact. With physical contact, that force is known as contact force. Contact force means force acting between two objects. Force applied between two objects, two or more, with physical contact. With physical contact, then it is a contact force. If you mention only physical contact, it is a physical contact, it is a contact. Then if you mention there force applied, then it is a contact force. Remember. Now examples of contact force are muscular force, frictional force, normal force. Now muscular force means force applied with the muscles of our body, muscles of any body. A player kicks the football. A player kicks the football. By touching he is doing. I am writing with pen. I am applying force while writing with contact. By applying muscles, by the use of muscles, then it is a muscular force. Lifting the school bag, muscular force. Turning the pages, muscular force. Next, frictional force. Now when two bodies are in contact, if it is moving in one direction, bottom one is either rest or moving in opposite direction, there is a relative motion between two bodies. When one object is moving on another object, there is a relative motion between two bodies. That motion is opposed by frictional force. It is a force which opposes the relative motion between two bodies. Example, when we are walking on the floor. When we are walking, we are pushing the floor backward. If you observe, when we are walking forward, we are pushing the floor backward. While we are pushing, there should not be relative motion. There should be our leg like this only should be. It should not slide. When it is slide, what will be happen? We will fall forward. So their motion should not be there. Our feet should not slide on the floor. So that is a frictional force. Help us to walk. Next one is normal force. Now when we place a book on the table, weight of the body is acting downward direction. To bear it, this table is acting a upward force on the book. That is normal force. It is perpendicular to the surface of contact. That's why it is known as normal. Normal means perpendicular. Okay. Next, non-contact forces. Next one is non-contact force. Force between two objects. Force between two objects without physical contact. Without physical contact. Then it is non-contact force. Non-contact force is also known as force at a distance, or field force. Examples for non-contact force: gravitational force. When I keep anything here, it will fall down. If I am keeping here, it will fall down. That is because of gravitational force. Earth attracting any object without touching. If you throw the ball upward, finally it will come down because of the gravitational force. Next, magnetic force. Force between two objects, two magnets, or magnet and magnetic material. Force between two magnets or magnet and magnetic material. Now, magnet attracts the magnetic materials without touching. It will pull. That's why it is non-contact force. Next, electrostatic force. Next one is electrostatic force. Force between a charged body and uncharged body, or force between two charged bodies, is electrostatic force. This is about force. And, most of the topics I covered here, not only the basics. Next. Now, pressure. Pressure. What is the difference between force and pressure? What is the difference between force and pressure? Don't think that both are same. Pressure means force acting on unit area is known as pressure. Force acting on unit area is pressure. Now, pressure is denoted with letter P equal to force by area. Force by area. Now, pressure equal to force by area. Force acting on unit area. Now, we should write units. First, we will write for force. What are the SI units of force? Newton or kg meter per second square. CGS units, dyne or gram centimeter per second square. And we know area. Area is the surface occupied by the body. SI units of area, meter square. CGS units of area, centimeter square. Now if you substitute there, pressure equal to SI units for pressure, Newton force SI unit by area SI unit by meter square. CGS unit, dyne per centimeter square. CGS unit, dyne per centimeter square. SI unit, Newton per meter square, is also known as Pascal. Here, while writing scientist names as a units, we should remember a rule. While writing symbol, we should write capital. While writing complete name, we should write small. For example, Newton is a scientist name. While writing symbol, I am writing capital name, capital N. If I write completely, I should write small alphabet. Generally, for writing person names, we'll use first letter is capital. But while writing scientist names as a units, symbol capital, complete name small. Here Pascal, P capital. If I write completely, P small. This is about pressure. Don't think that I am teaching completely. I am covering only basics which are needed for learning 9th class. Next, friction. Friction is a contact force. Friction is a contact force which opposes the relative motion between two objects. Means friction is an opposing force. Friction is an Opposing force. Now for example, we placed an object on the table. Now if I am applying a force in one particular direction, for this opposite direction along the surface, frictional force is acts. Means it is opposing force. It is an opposing force. Here when we are walking, I already told you one example. When we are walking, we will pushes the floor backward and we will move forward. At that time, between our leg and the floor, there is no motion like this. If it is sliding, we will fall forward. That is frictional force. Now types of friction. Types of friction. One, before saying the name, when an object is placed on the table, if we apply a force, friction is acting on it in opposite direction, denoted with small f. Now if the body is not moving, even we apply force, if this body is not moving, then frictional force between them is known as static friction. Static friction is a self-adjusting friction. See here, whenever I applied initially 10 Newton force, the body not moving. Next I am applying 15 Newton force, the body not moving. Next I apply 20 Newton force, also not moving. Means in these three cases the body is opposing my force. Here one force between these two contact, one force is opposing my force. So whenever I am applying 10 Newton force with 10 Newtons frictional force, with 10 Newtons opposed. Next, whenever I applied 15 Newtons, I am human, I can increase my force, then friction also 15 Newtons, so that it is not moving. When I apply 20 Newton force, not moving, no, so 20 Newton frictional force. So it is adjusted by itself. That's why it is known as self-adjusting friction. Self-adjusting force. Static friction is a self-adjusting force. Now, as keeping on my force increasing, 20 Newton applied, not moving, suppose 25 applied, it starts moving when I applied some force more than the static friction. Then frictional force is overcome by my force, and with that force body starts moving. Body just starts a bit. When we are applying a bit slide will be, no, at that situation friction is limiting friction. Limiting friction is the maximum value of static friction. Maximum value of static friction means when it is static friction overcome by our force, then starts moving, that situation is limiting friction. Next, still I applied more force, then body starts moving. Means simply we can say it is moving. When the body is moving, the friction between them is known as body is moving. Then friction is kinetic friction. Friction is kinetic friction when the body is in motion. Okay. Now in the kinetic friction, the body is moving. When the body is moving on another body, the frictional force between them is known as kinetic friction. Now in the kinetic friction, we have two cases. When one body slides on other body, This is the example. One body is sliding on another body, and when one body rolling on other body. This is body 1, this is body 2, body 1, body 2. Now this body is rolling over another body, is sliding on another body. This sliding, this is known as sliding friction. Friction between two bodies when one body slides on another body. Friction between two bodies when one body slides on another body is known as sliding friction. Friction between two bodies when one is rolling on another body, then that is rolling friction. Now when we see sliding friction is sliding friction is more than rolling friction. Sliding friction is more than rolling friction. That's why we are using wheels to the vehicle instead of sliding. If I want to slide my hand like this, it is difficult. When a pen is kept here, it becomes easy. Means sliding friction is more than rolling friction. Sliding friction more than rolling friction. Sliding friction is more than rolling friction. That's why a body when rolling or the same body when it is sliding, it is easy to roll the body. Okay, for example, we can take this. Here we can roll easily than sliding. A body can be roll easily when compared to sliding, because rolling friction is less than sliding friction. Okay, here we have advantages as well as disadvantages of friction. Advantages and the disadvantages of friction. Advantages, we can walk, we can run, we can write, we can hold any object, we are able to talk, vehicles are moving, buildings are at one place. These are all because of friction. Advantages of friction. Coming to disadvantages, unwanted heat production, wear and tear. For example, if you take vehicle wheels, after traveling much distance, their grip get worn out. It will produce heat. Even our slippers, under the slippers we have grip. That is not for design, that is for better grip. After using many days, it get worn out. That is because of frictional force. Friction has advantages as well as disadvantages. Next, sometimes we want to increase the friction. Sometimes we want to decrease the friction. Sometimes when we need better grip, we should increase the friction. For example, when we are playing caroms, sometimes we want to increase the friction to get better grip. Whenever we are purchasing pens, we will check here, is it having better grip or not. While writing, if it slides, we can't try it. Even slippers, grip is provided under that. And vehicle wheels, grip is provided. And the sportsmen's shoes with spikes, when they are running, more running, at the time they have proper grip. That's why we need to increase the friction. Okay, how can we increase the friction? By providing better grip, by making surface rough. Roads, we can't make our roads very smoother. There should be a roughness to move the vehicle easily. Okay, sometimes we want to reduce the friction. While we are playing carom board, we will pour some powder on it. Then friction will be reduced, coin will slide easily. Vehicles, wheels, grease we will keep, machinery parts. grease, that we are reducing the friction. Cycle, will use some oil in it when we are getting sounds. Okay, so like these ways we can reduce the friction and we can increase the friction. Okay, and one more important thing, when we are reducing the friction, for example, if you see our buses will have front like this, front portion like this. Even trains also having like this. Nowadays we are able to see, we are seeing Vande Bharat Express, its shape will be like this. Bullet trains, jet engines, aeroplane, all are having this cone shape in front of that. Vehicles which are moving slow, they are having like this. Which are moving fast, they are having like this. Here, whenever air strikes the vehicle, it should come back. Again it is coming back. We should overcome that air friction. Here, when air touches, it's go like this. It will go like this. Okay, no need to send back. Whenever we want to send back, we should apply more force. That's why this vehicle is moving slowly. Here it need not to apply. It is bisects that and it will go. Even ships will have cone shape. This cone shape is known as streamlined shape. Streamlined shape. Bodies are streamlined, okay, which are moving very fastly. And vehicle wheels, we can use ball bearings. Ball bearings, as we discussed, rolling friction is less than sliding friction. Rolling friction is less than sliding friction. Ball bearings are used in the wheels. Now, like this, balls will be presented. It is inside connected to the shaft, outside is connected to the wheels. So instead of sliding like this, it can be roll like this. As rolling friction is less, vehicles are moving easily. Sometimes we can use lubricants to reduce the friction. Lubricants to reduce the friction. Okay, now lubricants means oil, grease, like jelly substances, some are, okay, which are used to reduce the friction, reduce or decrease the friction. Okay, this is about force, pressure and friction. Okay, remaining topics I'll do in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.